Good morning and welcome to my weekend live stream here, Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. And it's all about families, hanging on to your children, and how to deal with an agency that a lot of places is very corrupt. It's a warm welcome, and I'm on early. Typically during the week, I'm on 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday for 1 hour. And then on the weekends, I come on at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour. In the evenings, I'm on 7 days a week at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a 1 hour live stream that you're able to interact and answer your concerns and questions about the child protection systems. That's what I call CPS, Child Protection Systems. It's a government entity that's found in every county in every state and also worldwide. Yes, this is an international live stream. Anyone that has internet can listen in and participate. So far to date, I've had 22 countries from around the world and all 50 states in the U.S., including the District of Columbia, that has participated or talked on this live stream. I've been doing this for 18 months, since October of 2023, and I've talked to over 1,500 some people. And it seems like they all have something in common. They're going through a hard time in life, and they need help. They need legal advice. And I'm not an attorney, but I'm somebody that has been through this nightmare. I, too, am a victim of CPS. And I want to share what happened to me so you don't make the same mistakes. I've developed 5 rules that if I had known back when my case was, I would never have lost my children. Yes, my children were trafficking. They were hurt in foster care. I experienced the worst time of my nightmare, where after working for 45 years, I had to lose my home because I need some money to fight. In order to fight, you need to have an attorney. This is a very difficult agency to work with. They are corrupt. They're not transparent. They're not your friend. Now, I'm not saying that all CPS is bad, but the ones I've talked to are really bad. And it's hurt people around the world, around the country. Whether you're Native American Indian or a First Nation Indian in Canada, or any kind of indigenous people in the world, they've attacked them too, like the Maoris in New Zealand. It's hard. It's hard because we all love families, and we're not born with a manual of how to deal with CPS or how to raise a child or take care of a family. It's through talking to your families, how you're brought up, and friends and so forth. But rest assured, CPS is not to be trusted. You don't know the good from the bad. 1 minute, you may be going through a hard time in life, and then all of a sudden this agency will come in, sweep in, and you not knowing the laws or your civil or constitutional rights, they'll it's all about money. I may have an internet issue because I just went dark. Hopefully I'm seeing through okay. Now, hopefully you hear me okay. Right now it's early in the morning. I know most people maybe just getting up here on the West Coast. On the East Coast, it's 11 o'clock after 11 a.m. And there's a very sweet person that's joined our family for a long time, Margaret King. Welcome, Margaret King from California. And God bless you and happy Sunday to you. Margaret King has hired Mr. Davis, who's my attorney here, who came up with the live stream. And Mr. Davis is a juvenile lawyer, a family lawyer, and a dependency lawyer. He's been practicing law and has fought CPS for 39 years and gotten back thousands of children. Thousands of children. He's a trial attorney. He's a pit bull, and he'll fight you no matter where you live. He will practice law there. And he's also done civil lawsuits. When your case is over, he has sued CPS for millions of dollars and won cases, both in state court and federal court. Now, the direct line to the office is 888-888-6582. And there you can find out the schedule. He does live streams as well as myself and other people too. You can also get books and guides that will help you with your case, how to fight CPS. In fact, we have a new guide out, a new book out. It's called Steps of Grandparents Fighting CPS, How They Get Adoption. It's all about how they adopt your grandkids, step-by-step guide. And it's available for $9.99. But if you use my discount code of PACE, P-A-C-E, all capital letters, 50, you get it for half off. Now, when you reach that number, you'll reach reception. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And if you talk to Mr. Davis, make sure you say that Bob Pace sent you. It's really important there. Now, this live stream, I talk about my case. I talk about the rules that I've developed. I also talk about different topics that we can talk about, like the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, how to do a 388 hearing, things of that nature, how to get an attorney, how to do documents, how to talk to CPS, how to research the internet, and how to gather up your important documents. Good morning, Daniel Watt. Daniel is from Georgia, and she had fought for her son to get to be a guardian. He's 19 years old. He's a special needs child, and he was lost in Texas, or not lost, he was kidnapped and held by CPS in Texas. After he had turned 18, he wanted to come home. They live in Georgia, and he had gone to Texas because of special needs. I guess Georgia couldn't handle him, so they had to go to Texas. So they used the Interstate Compact Placement for Children. The Interstate Compact Placement for Children, ICPC, is an organization that helps children go from one state to another state. Something you'll come across that you'll have to do there. So, ladies, this morning, Margaret and Daniel, is there any specific topic you'd like me to talk about or address? Is there a concern or question you may have, or maybe something you want to successfully tell me about? Now, there's 3 ways that you can interact here, besides taking notes and listening. One is that you can text me a comment or a question. It's a message that you text right here on the YouTube channel. I'm broadcasting on YouTube, and the channel I'm broadcasting on is called the CPS Defense Attorney Vincent Davis. And I use StreamYard, the application, software application. Now, to text a comment or question, it should pertain to CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from the beginning to where you're at. Margaret is saying this morning, I pretty much gathered enough information regarding the hair follicle testing. What do you know about hair follicle testing? Well, it's a mechanism that CPS uses. They do a test, and supposedly the hair follicle can tell if there's drugs in your system. It's a drug test. There's urine tests and a blood test. And anytime there's a hair follicle test, it's usually done by CPS. But a lot of times they make mistakes because they think they are clinical psychiatrists or they're doctors or anything else because they try to prescribe medicine for mental illness and they try to not diagnose you having mental illness. If you're going to be suspected of drugs, I strongly encourage you to go to your own medical insurance and get a drug test done yourself. So when CPS comes up with the hair follicle results, you have something to counteract it. Yeah, your blood test and your analysis all came back negative, with the hair follicle tested positive for a drug I never took in my life. Well, first of all, again, did you take the hair follicle test with your doctor or do you let CPS do it? They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll fabricate the drug test. I'm telling you, you got to be careful there. You have to be careful. Now, CPS conducts drug tests to ensure child safety when there are credible concerns. Now, that's another thing, too. You know, if they search your home and see drug paraphernalia around, or you seem like you're in a high state or not speaking coherently, they'll do so. Now, the hair follicle is a test that will show drug use over a longer period of time, usually up to 90 days. That's why they choose the hair follicle. Blood test is less common, but may be used in specific situations where immediate and precise results are required. Um, there's also saliva tests used in some cases to detect suspected substance, so we can't forget saliva. Now, if you pass the urine test but failed the hair test, what it means for CPS cases. Drug testing plays a critical role in child and CPS investigations, particularly when substance use is suspected to impact child safety. A situation in which an individual passes a urine test but fails a hair follicle raises questions about the evidence reliability and also implications for ongoing cases. This discrepancy can significantly influence decisions regarding custody or parental rights. That's why you do not want to trust anything done by CPS. They'll lie. They'll lie. Now, CPS uses various drug test methods to assess potential substance use. Urine test detects recent drug use, typically within a few days, while hair follicle provides a longer detection window up to 90 days, offering a broader view of substance use. History. This dual approach helps CPS gather evidence critical to assessing child safety. Policy of drug testing varies by jurisdiction, but discrepancy between test results often contextualize results. CPS considers test results of a part of a broader investigation, factored in elements like the frequency of substance use, its impact on parenting, any history of substance abuse. Collaborating drug test results with other evidence, such as reports from healthcare providers and social workers, ensure a more comprehensive understanding of the situation. Uh, they say they're sending the specimen to an independent lab test. Well, you should get your test done yourself. It's 90 days of drug testing, it says there. I know you have to comply. I'm not saying you don't, but you should also take your own hair follicle test. So you have something as a guideline in there. Now, CPS worker showed up. I showed her my prescription. It was prescribed. I'm no longer on that medication. That's fine. You can use that in your court. I'm still shocked or the results of the hair follicle. They go back 6 months. They're in the hands of taking your hair. They may have grabbed somebody else's hair. You know, the problem with CPS, they make mistakes and they purposely lie. So they can grab a hair follicle from somebody else and slip it in. You have to witness it. When you do your blood and urine test, you see the person draw blood from you. You see the vial that has your name on it. And then it's in there, so it looks like it's pretty safe done. With a hair follicle, you have to see them when they bag it. Now, again, you want to do your own hair follicle test to counter whatever that CPS may find or come up with. And I know it's good it goes back 3 months, 90 days, not 6 months. They can't tell a drug thing 6 months ago. They can go back 90 days. It's a 90-day time. They do have to take the route. Yeah, it could be also CPS didn't know how. I mean, Margaret, did you ever do a private hair follicle test yourself with your own medical insurance? Have you ever done that? Good, good, good. Um, what you need to do is you need to have a counter test to prove the agency's wrong on what they're doing. The agency's wrong on what they're doing. Now I showed you one way to interact here. The second way is uh, is to be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, you want to email our show producer Grace at vincentwdavis.com with the day and time you want to be on our show. Now I have 14 live streams that you can be on. All you have to do is pick one of those 14 times. My morning show on Friday, my Saturday evening show, my Wednesday morning show, etc. You email it to Grace, and then she will give you a link to StreamYard to get on that application. And if you get bounced off, the link is still good. Also, she'll tell you what to say and not to do on the live stream, such as no eating food or smoking. We don't use names on the live stream. She will help you with your lighting and everything else. She's really good about doing that, very thorough. Hello, Britannia. I know that you're the daughter of Margaret King, and welcome to my live stream. She's from Riverside, Anaheim, California, and I was wondering do you know about the CANS assessment, like the services being required, and what if no updates? And will we have 3 CET meetings from September 20th to now? The assessment has been updated since May 2nd, May of 2024. Now, the CANS is a child and adolescent needs and strength. It is a multi-purpose tool developed for children's services, that's CPS, to supply improvement initiatives and allow for the monitoring of outcoming of services. The assessment covers 7 domains of child needs, history, and functioning, with scores ranging 0 to 3. It is used in child welfare uh, agencies and can help outside conversations about the well-being of children. So that's what that is. So you've had the 3 CFT meetings. Now, these meetings are for children, youth, and placement who are receiving intensive care coordination, intensive home based services, or therapeutic foster care. A CTF meeting must be occurred at least every 90 days. So, with this being said, you know, your children must be in a very intensified care, foster care. Now, Margaret says, "Thank you, Bob, for the information. The more information, the more I gear up." I'm glad that. And I'm glad I can help you because that's what my purpose is, to help you all, to help you understand what you're going through and to get your children back. It's important that they do family reunification. Don't let them ever fool you. That is required. When Congress passed a law in 1962 giving the authority to the Social Services Department to create an agency or an agency within an agency to protect our children from neglect and abuse. It further states they're supposed to do family reunification, where the parents undergo parenting classes and programs as domestic violence or drug treatment programs to help you be a better parent. This agency is supposed to help families, not destroy families. And what's happened is a lot of them have gone bad, gone rogue. And they do it because they found out that money is nice. They make a lot of money. And so, with that being said, you have to be careful out there. And so, this is good. I'm glad that uh, Brittany and Margaret are asking these questions. That's what the whole purpose of me on here is, to help you all. They help you all. And I know how hard it is and how much it means. Okay, we've had several good questions. I'm glad to have this discussion. This is what I look for every day. Um, well, they're in the wrong kind of foster care because if they're not special needs, they should be in this situation. Well, you have to understand, we have no control over them. The CPS system is broken. From the federal government all the way down to the state, there's no directors or supervisors watching them. There's no board of directors or supervisors. Others, they're not transparent. The money is certainly not followed. There have been attempts to know where money goes. Like in Richmond, Kentucky, there was $1 million that was unaccounted for. They were investigating it and found that 600,000 was embezzled by a social worker working in Richmond, Kentucky cabinet. And he's being prosecuted. Now, as far as the other 400,000, they're still searching for it. But you have to understand, this is an agency that doesn't answer to anybody, that's free to do what they want to do. Now, I know that DOGE, which is the new government agency to look at government efficiencies and look at how, you know, government waste has been taking place, they're investigating social services now. And internally, the child protection system is a part of social services. So there's got to be changes made. Now, I know that at the first year, in more than 15 years, there's uh, been a change that Congress passed that amended the child welfare system. They now have included more support for kinship care, the aging out of youth, and efforts to prevent the separation of families due to poverty. But the problem being, President Biden signed that law on Saturday. It went unnoticed. No major news media talked about it. It isn't really too that talks about it now. It's 4 months later that we're hearing about this. There's a lot of things the government does. They're not open and transparent like our new president's been. Now, CPS is necessary. 3 days ago, a 5-year-old was murdered by her father. Her faithful custody hearing will be made public. And 2 days ago, the Lucas County Child Protection Task Force now accepting Child Protection Task Force. In Kansas City, Missouri, 3 days ago, the Child Welfare Missouri has a new focus on safety, not just family preservation. Safety is really important. There are some changes being made. Now, 3 days ago, an audio is going to be released of a custody hearing for a New Hampshire girl murdered by her father. And 3 days ago, the SJC recording of Harmony Montgomery's custody hearing was made public. These are newsworthy events that I'm trying to share with you all about the child protection system. 1 day ago, the education minister silenced as child-on-child sex assaults and old child care soar. And then 4 days ago, sexual predators at school, while South Africa law is failing to protect children from teachers. And we know for a fact, because we have Leica from South Africa that's talking about the problems with sexual predators. Her child was sexually raped, and she is called in on the show. So there's lots of news about CPS. It isn't a pleasant sight out there. Now, Britain, I don't know if you have access to Vincent Davis. I know Vincent's defending Margaret, but that's something that your attorney should bring up to court, that they're not special needs. They shouldn't have to go through this CFT meetings or be a part of that program, the CANS assessment. Now, I don't know if that's Anaheim. That should be Orange County. You're in Anaheim, and Orange County has jurisdiction, but Orange County is corrupt. I know from experience. I met the director. I fought the director. He has a Taj Mahal of a building. It's like the Emerald City of Oz. It's green. It's very tall, and only he works in it. His workers, his social workers, work in other very common places. They're not so gaudy. But you got a bad agency, Orange County. And I know from dealing with them and writing emails, meeting the guy, it's just worthless. He's just worthless. There's no question about that. You never want to be caught up in Orange County or LA County or Riverside or San Bernardino. Those are bad counties in California. Now, states will have their child protection systems in every county, in every state. So if a county has 500 agencies, that CPS will be involved in 500. The problem is it's grown up to be such a big thing because child protection is important. Over 1,000 children per day go unreported that should have been reported. I hear horror stories all the time about children left alone for weeks and dying. It's, child are found in closets under the bed, in a specialized chair. They're dead. They are dead. And I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Because I care about all of you. Now, Britannia says the cases are Riverside. It's just as corrupt. I agree. They're trying to send my case out to Orange County because that's where it should originally be there. Should have been actually. Britannia, you never really talked to me about your case in the beginning like Margaret did. I'd like to know how it gets started. Now, the CPS, the Child Protection System, should be trying to case wherever the home is located. If the home is in Riverside County, then Riverside County Child Protection System handles it. If it's in Anaheim, then Orange County Child Protection System handles it. It may be the wrong venue, the wrong jurisdiction. So that may, help you on there. I forgot to put my phone number up, but I want to put it up. And you can call me, Brittany. Your mother has. You can call in right now at 626-698-0990. And you can be live and talk about your case, and we can get your answers quicker and faster. I enjoy people calling in because my voice will put me to sleep if I do too much talking. But anyway, there's my number. That's my direct line to my phone, 626-698-0990. And now I got to check to see if it's set up to go there. Sometimes Yeah, it's right now. It's set up to go. Now my show producer is off on Sunday, so she's not around. So hopefully everything will go okay. Everything will go okay. Okay. So what are you? Where was the case started? Was it started in Riverside or was it started in Orange County? Now again, a warm welcome to everybody. Well, hello. Like I was just talking about you. I was just talking to you. I was looking at a news article, like, and There was an article that talked about in South Africa. Let me see where it was here. This is an article. It says sexual predators at school, while South African law is failing to protect children from teachers. And I don't know if you can relate to this because schools should be a safe environment, a place of learning where children can develop their potential. In South Africa, many public schools aren't like this. Instead, there are hothouses for teachers, poor performance, financial management, assaults, and sexual misconduct. When cases of misconduct in schools emerge, they tend to follow the same pattern: public outcry, media involvement, and political promises. What often follows is inaction, teachers not always held accountable. One reason is a fragmented legislative framework applicable to teachers. This can be explained using sexual misconducts as example. As a labor law researcher, analyst, legislation, statistics, and 137 arbitrator awards involving teachers, and found that fragmentation in legislative results in a lack of coordination between key role players on two levels. First, in preventing sexual misconduct by teachers at school, and second, in addressing it once it's occurred. Um, does this ring a bell with you, Leica? All right, you're taking a screenshot. Betty Joe are two people that are part of my room. They're from Montana, and they have a horrible CPS case. Thank you, Leica. I just wanted to share that that bit of information in South Africa. Now, Brittany, Margaret's daughter, says, I was with my ex for 16 years, and I finally couldn't take anymore and left due to abuse of me and my kids. So fast forward a little. I want to just be cardinal with him, co-parent, and let him be in my kid's life, which was a mistake. He started to alienate them from me, especially once he found out that I was with somebody else. And then I became pregnant, and that's when he set into motion his promise. It was that he'd make sure I had nothing in my life and that I died alone. I mean, that I died alone by my case. That is horrible, Brittany. Very horrible. Yes, I agree. Even the principals are doing that. Hello, uh, my friend from California, California City, California. Good morning, NYP. That is Nisha. Good morning and welcome. I'm glad to see all my families coming here. That's so great. We have uh, NYP from California City, California. We have Lycan from South Africa. We have Brittany from Anaheim, California. We have Margaret from California. And we have Bartley from Montana in the house this morning. And we also have Daniel Watt from Georgia. Can't forget my Daniel. And so we have a good room of really respectful people, loving people, beautiful people, caring people. A warm hug to all of you and a warm welcome to all of you out there. Now we have about 10 minutes left of my live stream. Brittany's asked some really important questions, which I've tried to answer as best as I could. She seems to have her children in the wrong program and even in the wrong county jurisdiction with the CPS, the Child Protection System. So I'm glad for the questions. Margaret asked a really good question too. And says, Leica says there are tunnels under every school, just like Diddy's in the schools in California, New York, Philadelphia. Wow. I go on this. This is what was found, and this is what Allie Carter knows. Allie is a survivor. Wow. Wow, Leica. Tunnels underneath schools? That's terrible. That's terrible. Uh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. She was sold by CPS to Diddy. Oh, that's terrible. Now, who is Diddy? Diddy. Do I know him? Is he? I imagine there's a person that right now is locked up awaiting trial in New York. A man that abused his girlfriend on camera and has abused other children and other people. He's a singer, I believe. Anyway, his case is really outlandish, and he's not allowed out on bail. He's locked up. Now, Sean Diddy, that's terrible that someone would sell someone still today. Oh, the world famous rapper. Yes. I thought that's what you were talking about. You have somebody that was sold by him. That is terrible. That is terrible. He has a network of trafficking, and that's why he's not allowed out of prison there. Hello, Dorothy Cook, and welcome. How many counties of CPS can investigate the same allegation as a favor to another? Not, uh, I always think one has jurisdiction over a case. If they're in cahoots, it's probably be legally. But if there is a county, there is a CPS entity, a child protection system entity, a government entity, and that entity is the one responsible for that county. You can't have two counties working together. Well, anything's possible. And yes, understand, Diddy will be sent away a long time. Everything is coming to surface. Bob, Morgan says, in your next show, I would like to talk about suing the responding party. Yes, reporting party. I'd love to have you talk on the next show. If you want to talk tonight, I'm on at 7 o'clock tonight. I'd love to have you talk, Margaret. And thank you, Bartley, that you agree with Margaret. Leica says from South Africa, the houses of celebrity are all linked with tunnels. Yeah, I guess so. I just really didn't think that people would spend the money or the time to have a tunnel so they could secretly come and go. That is terrible. That is terrible. Now, Bartley says that she like to talk about when a stepdad takes the stand. Oh, that's a good topic to talk about, Bartley. I'd love to have you on my show talking about that one. And you would help other people. Your stories and your questions are helping other people. And I'm so glad you guys are very professional in talking to me. Now, Leica says this is where all the little children and people go. Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Diddy Combs, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey? I didn't know that she was linked into child predation. I mean, does she prey on children? Oprah Winfrey? I never heard that one. That's a shocker to me. That's a shocker to me. NYP says, well, I can't agree that all schools because I've never seen that. Yeah, well, that's true. Like is talking from South Africa. And I guess South Africa has bad elements there. Margaret says, the sad thing is that Allie Carter was paid off the significant amount of money, and she was probably threatened not to proceed with charges against Diddy. Yeah, I've not been following that case closely, but I imagine that money is involved and they'll try to pay people to not talk about it. Leica says Demi Moore and Will Smith. I'm confusing. What is Oprah Winfrey, Demi Moore, and Will Smith? They're all actors. And I have followed Demi Moore ever since I've seen her in her early movies. But I didn't know that she was involved in child trafficking. Now, when you say all of them, are all of them involved in child trafficking? Oprah Winfrey, Demi Moore, and Will Smith? No, I know that Allie is true, but what does Will Smith, Demi Moore, and Oprah Winfrey have to do with Bo Diddy? Now, Dorothy Cook is saying, when can a parent be alleged to have been found mentally outside? Is there testing that has to be done? Yes, there is testing that has to be done, professional testing. And CPS is not licensed or professional enough to do mental health tests. And it has to be an outside person to do the testing. Okay, the root of Hollywood is okay. I don't get too involved in the politics of things in there. And I'm not saying it's not true, Leica, but um, I'll have to investigate further about Oprah Winfrey, Demi Moore, and Will Smith. Celine Dion. Now, she's a wonderful singer, but she's a high priestess in Satanism. Wow. Those are some pretty big things, Leica. Now, Bartley agrees with Margaret. Brittany, who's Margaret's daughter, says, and then the other day they made sure that you check their credentials because they also like people that aren't licensed anymore. I agree. You need to check everything. You know, it's really corrupt out there. Okay, it's all over YouTube. Okay, I will you did research for 6 years. Wow. Okay, Leica, that is really surprises me. But here we are. We're talking about CPS and how we can help one another with our case and how I can help you by, talking about what I should have done differently in my case. So I want to thank you all for the emojis and for being on my live stream this morning. It's been a good group. And thank you, Dorothy Cook, for that emoji there. And I want to thank Lycan for coming here as often as you do and sharing some new information and how corrupt that parts of South Africa CPS justice is bad. I thank you, NYP. You can talk about your judge. You can call and talk about your judge. Just don't use a name on the show. You just say, my judge is corrupt for the following reasons. And you can certainly talk about them. Brittany from Anaheim, California, thank you. Again, Bartley from Montana, thank you very much. Dorothy Cook, thank you very, very much. Margaret Smith from California, thank you. Who else? I forget. I forgot where you're from, Dorothy Cook. You've been on my show before, but I guess I forgot where you're from. And Brittany, is a horrible abuse and a horrible thing your husband's been doing to you. That's really bad. Well, my time has reached up. I thank all of you very, very, very much for sharing on. Oh, Daniel Watt. I can't forget Daniel. She talked in the very beginning. Anyway, please keep fighting. Don't give up on your children. Come back to me tonight, tomorrow morning, tonight at 7 p.m., tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on my weekday schedule. So I want to say God bless to you all, and thank you so much for being on my live stream. It's been really a nice pleasure of dealing with you all. And I look forward to talking to you again. It's Sunday. Go out and worship God. God bless you all. And this is now, it comes to the conclusion of my live stream. And this is Bob Pace signing off.